No tiene control de tracción, ni frenos especiales, ni suspensión electrónica.
Los coches son mucho menos estables sin suspensión electrónica. En consecuencia, son bastante más difíciles de conducir. Habrá más coches haciendo trompos y saliéndose de la pista. Más coches haciendo trompos es más emocionante para los espectadores. Y para nosotros, si no le pasa nada al piloto. Por lo demás, no es muy cómodo.
Senna en segundo lugar. Hay una brecha de casi 8 segundos.
No estamos contentos con cómo se están desarrollando las cosas con el coche ahora mismo. El control no es especialmente bueno. Los coches no debían llevar las ayudas electrónicas del año anterior. Pero Senna estaba convencido de que el Benetton de Michael Schumacher, que había ganado las 2 primeras carreras de la temporada, aún mantenía algunas. En concreto, el control de tracción, que elimina el giro de las ruedas.
No cuadraba que el Benetton le pegara esas palizas. Quería que protestásemos. Y no lo hicimos.
If he carried any emotion going into that race that was different from previous races, it would probably be the frustration of knowing that his principal rival was driving a car with an illegal system on it, and that would always, incense his sense of fair play. And if I would put anything that was abnormal in his behaviour just down to that knowledge and belief.
I must say that what he said, because I cannot judge myself, but he was convinced that the Benetton was cheating. He was very upset and he was in big trouble because of that. And again, not very happy with the car, with the performance of the car. So he was obviously not very happy, saying that he could not find a motivation. Many times he told me, I cannot be motivated against Michael, against other drivers, and he was really like if he had not lost his passion. He had promised the car, promised the team safety, maybe some small personal problems possible, but he has lost his skill, and that was very surprising.
It was very apparent to me and to several other people around Ayrton, Joseph, his trainer, and probably one of his closest friends, Sid Watkins. All 3 of us, for different reasons, very quickly formed the opinion that Ayrton quickly regretted leaving the team. Not specifically because of competitiveness or uncompetitiveness, but more because he didn't expect to find himself in such a different culture, and one which was quite alien to the way he was.
Estamos empezando de cero, así que básicamente el campeonato empieza aquí. No es una posición cómoda, pero es la realidad.
Has ganado aquí ya 3 veces. Necesitas una 4ª victoria.
Me encantaría.
Nunca había visto a Senna tan tenso como aquel fin de semana. No le vi sonreír en ningún momento. Estaba siempre concentrado, molesto, triste, diría yo.
Es el equilibrado. El equilibrado cambia. El coche es peor.
El equilibrado, dices. ¿Se va más de un lado que de otro? ¿Pero es algo constante o solo te ha pasado en alguna vuelta?
Había un poco de subviraje. Un poco de subviraje en la primera vuelta. Y luego, en la segunda vuelta, cambia el equilibrado.
¿Sobreviraje y subviraje?
Sí. En medio de la curva. Se desequilibra a la entrada. Cuando se supone que debe coger tracción, se te va.
He was getting into a car that was like a kind of, an unbroken colt, if you like. It had a lot of problems, a lot of vices that needed to be worked on and ironed out, and some of them seemed to be pretty fundamental. One thing that a driver hates above all else is a car that changes its behavior in the middle of a corner. There are two things, oversteer and understeer. Oversteer is what we used to call the four-wheel drift, when you steer a car with the throttle and you turn the steering wheel to balance it in such a way as you appear to be going in the opposite direction from the way you want to go, but actually the car drifts around, slides around the corner. Understeer is when you have to put more steering on than you expect to get round a corner. And the worst thing is most cars have the characteristic of one or the other, but really bad cars have both, and they change from one to the other in the blink of an eye, in the middle of a corner, when you're least wanting that to happen. And that's very, very disturbing for a driver because it destroys his faith in the integrity of the car. And that's absolutely crucial to particularly Formula One, to developing, for the driver to develop that complete trust in the car's temperament and behavior. And it was very clear at the beginning of the 94 season that the Williams absolutely didn't have that, and it had this really unpleasant characteristic of changing its balance. And that takes a lot of sorting out. We saw by the end of the season that Williams had sorted it out, that Damon Hill was winning races, challenging for the title. And for the next season and the two seasons after that, in 96, 97, Williams won the title again, because they'd gone through that bad period. But Senna's arrival coincided with it. And I think that was very disturbing to him, because he'd gone there expecting something else. He'd gone there expecting to be able to walk into a championship-winning car, instead of which he found himself with a serious job of helping the engineers purge the car of its vices and make it competitive again.
¿Ya conoce a Ayrton o se lo presento?
No, ya lo conozco.
¿Le trata de tú o solo son conocidos?
Lo conozco porque sigo la Fórmula 1. Lo conozco muy bien.
¿Por qué está tan nervioso?
Porque cuando estás cerca de alguien tan grande como él, siempre te pones nervioso.
Buena suerte al campeón y al futuro campeón.
Madre mía, joder.
¿Ha visto a Rubens?
Está bien. Conmocionado, claro, pero bien.
¿Ha hablado con él?
Sí, sí.
Cuídate, Rubens.
Then I arrive in Imola, and the first thing I see when the screen where he has recorded Alain, we miss you. We miss you, Alain. To my friend Alain, we miss you. Or I miss you. So I'm very happy. Honestly, it's maybe the best thing he has done to me, because this message is very important, because not only because that happened unfortunately the day before he's dead, but when you try to put yourself in a driver's head and driver's position. When you do that, why Ayrton would think about myself at this time of the day? I always thought about that. It is unbelievable to me. And this message is very strong. It's very strong, and it has been something really, really important to me.
Ayrton aún estaba incómodo con la nueva relación con su equipo y estaba muy incómodo con el coche. Pero luchó y consiguió colocarlo en la pole.
Joder, necesito controlarme. Hay cosas de este coche que nadie domina.
Tendrás que jugar con él un poco.
¿320 por hora?
Señoras y señores, el organizador del Gran Premio de San Marino ha recibido un informe del Hospital Maglioli en Bolonia. El conductor del coche número 32, el MTV Simtech 4, Ronald Ratzenberger, ha fallecido